Let's bring in Democratic Congressman Adam Smith from Washington, ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee. It's good to have you back on the show. So you heard the president say it should be just up to Pete Hegseth. Since you and other Democrats feel strongly the American people should see the video of that second strike, is there anything you can do to get it released, or is it just wait and see what the defense secretary does?
The American people should see it, and there's no reason why they shouldn't. They've released, gosh, I don't know, 15, 20 videos now of boat strikes. It's very easy to edit out any part that might jeopardize any sort of classified information or sources and methods. This video should be released. It's also, worth noting, President Trump's desire to just sort of remake reality, I really hope we never get to the point where we simply accept that. How can we have a president say, no problem, I'll release it? No, I never said that. I never said that. It's fake news. Can we please start holding people accountable for the facts? But there's no reason not to release it. Yes, right at the moment, that is in the power of the President and the Secretary of Defense. And what we can do is we can put public pressure on them. By not releasing it, they are making it clear that they can't defend what's on that tape. I think we have to keep that public pressure up. I would hope that at some point Congress would be willing to subpoena it to basically force them to release it. But that's going to be difficult with the Republicans in the majority in the House and the Senate. But we are going to keep pressing this very, very important issue.
So do you think it actually is up to Pete Hegseth, or do you think ultimately that decision is only that of President Trump?
Well, it's up to the president, first and foremost. He can certainly designate it. He can certainly say, yeah, I leave it up to you. But he is, well, the president. He's in charge. He could make the call on that. He could certainly order it be released, just like he could order the Epstein files to actually be released. He's choosing not to and allowing Secretary Hegseth to make that decision. And as I said, I think Secretary Hegseth is reluctant to release it because if the public actually saw the video as I did, they would find what a lot of Republicans, the President and Secretary Hegseth, have been saying is just patently ridiculous.
So I have to ask you, because of
describing what's in that video.
Because of what you just said, I have to ask you, how do you account for the fact that other members of Congress have emerged with very different accounts of what actually they say they witnessed? They could not be more diametrically opposed. What's going on?
Well, let's go back to where your interview started here. Donald Trump on tape, 2 days ago, maybe less, saying, no problem, absolutely going to release it. And then today, I never said that. That's fake news. So if you get to the point in the world where you decide that facts are what you say they're going to be, this is a central tenet of Donald Trump's philosophy. The truth is what I say it is, all right? So it's not hard to believe whatsoever that MAGA-supporting, Trump-supporting Republicans would take the same tact and say the truth is what I say it is. I heard a quote from Senator Cotton last night that basically they were not disabled, the two people in this boat were not disabled in any way. Their boat got blown up, set on fire. It's cut in half. It is now capsized. All that's left of it is the bow, which they are hanging onto. I think they were a little bit incapacitated. So let's show the video. Let's let people see. None of which is to make a final judgment, by the way, on was this strike legal or not. But the way the Republicans have been describing it to justify that legality simply isn't true or accurate.
MS Now reports that your office is expecting a call from the commander of U.S. Southern Command, who was reportedly forced out after he raised concerns about the legality of these strikes. Are you going to have that call? What do you hope to learn from him?
Yeah, we're going to have that call. It's a classified call. I hope to learn what was the chain of command and what his opinion about the legality of those orders. And please don't misunderstand what I said a second ago. I'm not saying this was lawful. I'm just saying we need a full investigation. We need to get to the facts. What I saw is deeply concerning to me. I think it warrants an investigation, and that investigation could quite easily conclude that this was an unlawful strike. Admiral Halsey has unique insight on that, both in terms of the chain of command, who made what decisions, and what was the justification for it? What was the legal justification? And remember, the Office of Legal Counsel memo that justified the legality of this strike wasn't actually written in final form until September 5th. This strike happened on September 2nd, before they had actually formalized the legal justification for any of these strikes. So there are serious doubts about whether or not they made an effort to follow the law and did in fact follow the law in carrying out this mission.
And there was an interview that Dasha Burns did with the president for Politico, and he was asked about the boat strikes. I think these are his most recent comments. Take a listen.
Should he testify, Pete Hegseth, under oath before Congress about that controversial second strike on the alleged drug boat on
I don't care
September
if he does.
2nd?
He can if he wants. I don't care.
Do you think he should?
I don't care. I would say do it if you want, Pete.
Do you believe that
It's
that
not
second
pretty,
strike was necessary?
Well, it looked like they were trying to turn back over the boat, but I don't get involved in that. That's up to them. Every time we knock out a boat, we save 25,000 American lives.
So would you consider doing something similar with Mexico and Colombia that are even more responsible for fentanyl trafficking into the U.S.?
Sure.
So the president repeated his claim that every one of those strikes is saving not just American lives, but very specifically 25,000 lives. And you also heard him talking about the potential of doing something with Mexico and Colombia. I just wonder what your reaction is. First, do you have any evidence that you've seen to back up 25,000 lives? And what about the possibility of expanding?
Yeah, it's classic Trump. I mean, first of all, he takes no responsibility. I don't know, I might, but who am I? I'm just the president of the United States. Not my thing, someone else is going to say. So he ducks any responsibility for the consequences of his decisions, and then he makes stuff up. There is no way one boat with however much cocaine was in it saves 25,000 lives. Again, no fentanyl involved here. Yes, overdoses from cocaine happen. They are vastly rarer than overdoses from fentanyl. Furthermore, we don't know where this boat was going. We don't even know if that cocaine was headed to the United States of America. And I really want to emphasize, drugs are a major problem in the U.S. We should work harder to prevent them from coming in, to prevent people from abusing them. But the idea that blowing up a few boats off the coast of Venezuela is going to fundamentally change that equation is completely wrong, particularly when the president continues to pardon convicted drug dealers and undermine the effort to stop it. What we need to do is work with partners in the region, like we did with Colombia 20 years ago, and make an effort to block these drugs. And we also need to follow the law. Do we really want the president of the United States to be judge, jury, and executioner, institute the death penalty for anybody involved with drugs with no due process, with no probable cause? That's what this issue is about. I wish the president and Secretary of Defense would take accountability and actually clearly explain their policy and how it's connected to helping our country.
Congressman Adam Smith, thank you so much for coming on the program.